Skip, we're back here for another Skip Scoop. A little day late. We're doing it Tuesday morning. Why don't you talk about that a bit?
Well, just, I know the fans were wondering, had several emails, but recent past, my grandmother passed away recently, actually, while we were on our spring trip, and very close to me, and those of you who know Big Smitty through the Big Ten Network, and also some of the Skip Scoop, mother of Big Smitty, and so we had to be out of town for the funeral yesterday, but would be dearly missed. And she was a big fan of Indiana baseball, and so that was why we didn't get out there yesterday. But we're up and running today, and excited to bring you another edition of the Skip Scoop. And on that subject, Kyle, the new edition based on last week's edition, we had some sanctions from the FCC about, and we've been informed that the FCC does not want to see me shirtless in a hot tub ever again. So we will accommodate their request and bring it back to the office here and keep it simple.
And back to business, Skip, on the diamond. Pretty good week down in spring break. Why don't you talk about what happened from the last Skip Scoop into this week?
Well, it is a long day, a long week of baseball. 8 days in a row. Finished the week on a positive note with a win. We hit a stretch in there. We lost a couple tough ones, but that's baseball. But a 5-3 week over the spring trip, using a lot of different guys, learned a lot about our team. I thought our team performed well, but we're still not playing the way that I think that we're going to play. Micah Johnson finally broke out a little bit, had a good week for us. Scored some runs, was wreaking some havoc on the bases, which we need him to do. Junior college transfer Chad Martin, our big 6'7" righty there, showing that he's going to do fine in a starting role. Very pleased with what Chad did. We had a surprise start. Freshman Tyler Tickey, guy that we haven't talked a lot about on the show, came out and gave us a quality start against Bucknell. I think 5 scoreless innings, if I'm correct on that. Did a wonderful job. Ryan Halstead, freshman, has really developed and shaped himself up into what I think is going to be a top-notch closer as we move forward. And really, as we talk about individual performances, probably the highlight of the week was Alex Dickerson being named Big Ten Player of the Week for his accomplishments and some timely home runs that he hit. And so a good week of individual accomplishments and bring it all together as a team. I think, 5-3, we're not satisfied, but we know we've got to work on as we prepare to move into the season. Also with the spring trip, Kyle, it's funny. I hear a lot about, spring break time for the regular students, and a lot of times relationships and bonds form over spring break. We're no different. We had a unique relationship form and a bond between two players, and we have proof of that. So take a look at this.
Interesting picture there, Skip. We introduced a new thing last week, asking people to send in some pictures that epitomize IU baseball. And what do we got this week?
Well, back to that photo of Ivel and Lambert. I mean, we want our guys to get close, when we travel, but I don't know if we want them that close. So, but anyway, yes, a thing we started, and actually this is new first, right? This week we asked for our fans to send in some photos, and this is awesome. We've got the first photo, Will and Pierce, Sandy from North Carolina. Thank you for that photo. You show Alex Dickerson. We participated with Team USA last year, so thank you, Will and Pierce, for sending that in. We've got, I don't know if I should be concerned about this one or not, Kyle. We got Josh Sefton's grandfather. Looks like he's moving in on my wife, Jamie, there. I'm going to have to talk to Jamie about that one right there, but thank you, Seftons, for sending in that. A little incriminating, but but love it. And then we've always said, one of the most colorful characters of our parent crowd is Ross Dickerson from California. And we've always said Ross is on top of the world. I think we have a photo to prove that. Check out Ross in this photo. And so for the first week, some good photos. We hope that you keep those coming. Again, a reminder on that. The theme is just make it Indiana baseball somehow, some way. And we'll try to get those on for you. Be creative. The more creative, the more we like it. So keep those coming. Let's roll into questions of the week. Questions of the week here. This comes from Jennifer from Lexington. Skip, when is the Studley Junior College pitcher going to be on Skip Scoop? I think we're referring to Chad Martin on the Studley Junior College pitcher. I will say this. I think Chad was featured in we did the word association a few weeks ago on a Friday update. So Chad has been in there, and he's also I think Dylan and Wes make reference to him in their weekly blog. So if you're interested in learning about JUCO Chad, you can get on and follow it in that as well. So thank you, Jennifer from Lexington. This comes from Joel from Louisiana. I think your hair is falling out. Joel, I think I know what you're referencing. The late night show, the lighting was bad. As you can see, it's getting a little thin, but I still have my hair, and thank you for pointing that out, Joel. All right. This comes from Ross from Poway, the man on top of the world. We didn't see Jamie in the hot tub last week. Did she make the Florida trip? For your information, Ross, she did make the trip. She was not going to get in the hot tub with me. In fact, I think she was probably somewhere off with Mr. Josh Shefton's grandfather at that time or something like that. But good and interesting question. Ross, this comes from Jeff from Kansas City. What part of the game do you enjoy coaching the most? I would say the mental. I love trying to get players in a sense of mental toughness, of what it takes. Baseball definitely is a physical game. You got to have tools to play the game. But it also, the separator to me is the mental. You know, are guys excuse makers? Are they mentally tough to grind things through? Just like last week, an 8-game road trip. How do we prepare? How do we function towards the tail end of that? And so I really enjoy coaching guys up on the mental and becoming mentally tough. Second part of the question from Jeff from Kansas City. What part of the game do you find the most difficult to coach? I would say the mental. You know, and it's funny because it is a fun part, but the most difficult part is to get kids to understand how important that is. And in our process through the years, we do a lot of things competition-wise, a lot of things that are outside of swinging a bat or throwing a baseball that focus on the mental and getting kids to buy in and understand how much or how important that part is. So while it is my favorite part to coach, it is also the most difficult part to coach. But a great question, Jeff from Kansas City. And this comes from Scott from Dartown, Ohio. I read in Division III they're trying the reentry rule this year. My question, what do you think of this rule? Do you think it will make it to Division I? I don't like it. I think that's one of the unique things about baseball. I was just talking to a basketball coach the other day. I said a difficult part of our sport, and I like it, is if a kid screws up or messes up, you don't have the luxury of a coach to pull them out of the game to make your point, because once you pull them out, they're out. You know, I think it creates more of a chess match, a strategy for the coaches that you have to go with the people that are in there. And I don't think it will make it to Division I, although I've been, you know, who knows, the bat thing has been a rule that kind of slid in there that caught everybody by surprise. But I hope it doesn't. I think it would take away from the way the game is supposed to be played. But a great question, again, Scott from Dartown. And keep those questions coming. And we'll be back next week. You know, well, actually, I'm sorry. Before we dismiss, we got home opener this Sunday, Sembauer Field, 1 o'clock. So be sure to, if you can, or you're around Bloomington, to get out and see our home opener. The Hoosiers have been road warriors. We have been on the road a ton, and we're going to be on the road again, I think 3 games before we actually get home on Sunday. But get out and see us on our home opener, 1 o'clock. We appreciate all the interest in Skip Scoop, and we'll bring you an edition next week with travel. It's been a little difficult trying to piece it together, but I'm sure we'll come up with an interesting one next week, and look forward to that. So thanks again. We'll see you next week.